Ha-ha! Levack and Goz back in the house. Literally in the house. We're in my house, sitting in my recliners. I don't know how we got here. I'm not paying for this show. I refuse. I'm poor, as you can tell by the wood paneling up here that usually people have in their camp. There you go, right there. That's nice, right? That's a texture look.
Levack, the first time we did this, we did just audio straight when you came on Getting There with Goz. We did a 2-part audio only episode. I was very curious of whether or not we wanted video. I am a fan of this. I love it.
The lounge, the level lounge.
It's called the Deuce. We're calling this thing the Deuce.
Yes, because my house is shit. Yes. Dude, you don't even know.
What? Your house is fine. You're a bachelor living the life.
I'm an 18-year-old daughter. I can't be.
You're a college student now.
Yeah. And she looks around going, oh, God. Oh, the floor matches the walls. I will. It's funny because I know you wanted to say this later. That you asked if I thought the Candyman movie was good.
Yes.
I haven't seen the new one. I've seen the original. I haven't seen the new one. I won't watch the new one because I'm living the freaking movie. Like a big part of the movie is just bees. There's bees. I had to have Terminex over to kill the bees. Like literally yesterday I left work because I kept finding bees in my house. They moved into one of my windowsills.
What?
They're just in
the house?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
In the kitchen. No, they're gone now, man. Terminex came in and terminated our boy Jeremy. Yeah. So no, I don't want to see Candyman because I like the Deuce is buzzing with energy, and that energy is Yellow Jackets.
This is the most famous scene in the '92 Candyman. It's Tony. I want to say Tony Perkis, but that's from a heavyweight Ben Stiller's character. But Tony, whatever his name is, the bees come out of his mouth, right? And they start crawling out.
Yeah. Big part of it. Big part. But one of the cool things about being in my house is I'm never short supply of beverages.
Thank you.
My buddy George over at All Star, I said I like High Noons, and he said you got to try all these other ones. These are not sponsors. Terminex not a sponsor. All Star not a sponsor. Dogfish Head Vodka Lemonade not a sponsor. But guys have tried it, so what the hell, we'll do them. We're not governed by the FUCC, so we can do what we want.
This is what happens at the Deuce. Everyone's always said it's Levack. It's the best compliment we can ever get. Listening to Levack and Goz is like sitting in a bar with your buddies.
Yeah.
This has never felt more like this. This might be the ultimate. I feel like I'm watching and hanging out talking sports with you guys on a Friday. If you're watching after work on a Friday, crack one open with us because that's what this show's going to be like. Like it always has, but really physically on a couch talking sports, drinking.
It's saying something too, considering the amount of shows that we've done in bars. That this feels the most like a show in a bar. All right, let's do it. Let's get going. Topic number uno from the Deuce. Uno and the Deuce.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Drop a big one on the Deuce.
Mets players versus Mets fans. There is not a group of fans, I think, in the universe that deserves to be treated better than Mets fans. Right? Like for how many years did we have the saying on Levack and Goz of that's so Mets? That's just a Mets thing. That's a Mets thing that happened.
So Ravens, so
right.
Mets.
Like literally since you came up with the idea that you wanted to talk about the thumbs down on the show, Javi Baez and everybody, being turds. The acting GM, who's only the GM because the original GM got caught sending dick pics. I can actually say that.
Yay! All right, dick pics.
Now this guy gets a DWI Tuesday morning. So if there's a fan base in the world that is more loyal and more loving than the Mets, I don't know who they are. And if there's a fan base in the world who should be able to go like Colombian, mafia style and take a cigar cutter and take off Javi Baez's thumbs for what he's done. We don't put no violence here on the back up. It's the Mets. What are you guys doing?
They were the best team in the NL East for most of the season. They were arguably the best team in the National League. And I know the Dodgers and Giants and Padres are out in the West, but that's how good the Mets were playing when DeGrom was on. And then all of a sudden DeGrom gets injured. But to Steve Cohen's credit, they want to be aggressive at the deadline. They make a move, they bring in Baez. They make a move, they bring in more players like Francisco Lindor back as the offseason. They want to be contenders.
Right.
Baez stinks, and the Mets start to lose. And Mets fans, like New York sports fans have done for centuries, right? A century plus, booed the team when they weren't playing well.
That's not just New York fans.
All sports fans, one-on-one sports.
Like Baltimore Orioles fans don't boo because they're just bored. They're literally the boobers. But and with all the hope that you were given,
it's one thing when you have no hope. You know, if you're not going to give me wins, give me hope. If you're going to give me neither, it better be cheap beers and hot dogs. Like that's the way Mets fans start to feel. You bring in Uncle Steve Cohen, you start making all these moves you're talking about. Well, now I got hope. DeGrom is just amazing. I mean, just simply amazing. Now he's hurt a lot, which that will derail a team. I got hope. Now you're cursed. Now you're bad. Now you're falling out of this thing. You're falling faster than a plumber's pants getting into your drink. Like, it is that bad. And they boo. They're booing because they care.
Yes, and the almost legendary level of lack of perspective by Baez and Lindor and the teammates of the Mets to think we're the only athletes in the history of New York sports or the history of sports that are getting booed by our home fans. And we're so hurt and injured by it. You've hurt our feelings. We're going to boo you guys. The idea that they don't understand that the business, that the contracts that they get paid millions of dollars for happens because the business of baseball is doing so well that they, as a business, can say, we can pay you $15 million because our revenue is showing that. Or we as a company can pay you this because you're proving to us that you can actually perform at this level. And they're like, nah, I don't know. No, it's your guys' fault. Like, the lack of respect. Oh, by the way, Javi Baez is a free agent. Yeah. How do you tell that to a team that wants to sign Javi Baez? Hey, I have an idea. Baez is going to sell a ton of jerseys. People are going to root him on. They're going to care. Do you mean the guy who was booing the fans because they booed him because he was batting below 210? Yeah. The lack of perspective is unbelievable. Never seen it ever before by a pro athlete in my lifetime that they were this dumb.
I will say one thing about Javi Baez, though. The book's written on Javi Baez. He's going to make insanely big hits. He's going to hit it over the wall a bunch of times. He's going to make nice plays in the outfield, the defense. However, wherever he ends up that day, I mean, whatever. He's going to play good defense for you. He's going to be a player. But he's going to strike out a ton. He's going to strike out a ton. He's the microcosm of modern baseball. Like the highest. I don't know if you looked at the stats lately. Do you know what the highest batting average in all of baseball is right now for qualified players?
I would think like 320.
319.
Hey, all right, not too far off.
Yeah, so I'm just, I'm shocked. I mean,
let me see if I can get it.
That doesn't make sense, though, does it? Does that add up on any level? That's the highest average in baseball?
Not when you grew up with guys like Tony Gwynn and Larry Walker, and even people who are older than us that used to see guys seriously contend for a 400 batting average. No. Tony Gwynn was the man.
Tony Gwynn was amazing. I mean, yes, and the fact that he had that build too. Oh no, you know what? It went up since last night when I looked at it the first time.
320.
320 is the highest in the American League. 322 in the National League. Did you want to guess who?
Is it anybody for the Rays?
No.
Okay.
No. No, the Rays aren't. I mean, it's Trey Turner from Washington and the Dodgers.
Yeah, former Syracuse National chief player. Yeah.
Starling Marte is the highest with like two guys have been traded too. Like it just shows how much averages don't mean due to anyone. I don't want to swear all the time.
You want to use?
I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable swearing into a microphone.
Okay.
I just don't like swearing into a microphone. It's been one of the things my entire career I've been good at not swearing into the microphone. Like we'd be, Goz will tell you, we'll be in a commercial break and I'll be like, you know what? Bleep that guy, bleep you, blah blah. You're cool, blah blah. And then all of a sudden we go on like, Levack and Goz, and here we are. We're very happy to tell you about the Integrative Sleep Center at Boston Spa. Like I never had a problem. Now like I feel like this is gonna break me. And someday I'm gonna be on terrestrial radio doing God knows what, and I'm just gonna just full blown F-bomb somebody.
And you'll be in podcast world forever.
Oh, is that the plan? Is that the plan?
So those guys. By the way, for Steve Cohen and them to step in and say, hey, you need to apologize, you need to put that good. Like that was a good move by management to step in and say, don't be idiots and hurt our business, hurt our franchise, but it's all to the fans. Javi Baez is done with the Mets. It's a terrible collapse for this team, and it goes back to a point you brought up last week. You mentioned to me that Rojas might be done with the Mets, and I told you, no, that can't be the case. Okay, this one's a little different, because when nobody in the locker room or nobody in the dugout has said anything to these guys for a month, because the rumor out there is that started on August 6th, and they've been doing this for 3 weeks before somebody noticed. Rojas went a month and never noticed his players were insulting the fans. That one, all of a sudden, I'm like, can I get back on the Rojas getting fired after the season train? I could go edit that back in the last episode. So yeah, I kind of know what you mean now by why the Mets aren't happy with who's running the dugout.
Well, it's just, and again, there's just, I can't remember who said it. Like, again, I think it was Jamal. I think it was our former satellite producer, Jamal, who said, should Beltran get the job now? And when you look at the fact that the Red Sox have fallen off a little bit, but they still are far ahead of where we thought they'd be at this point with Cora back. You know, you have always been a fan of Hinch. I don't really get Hinch the way I Cora, but these guys are both back managing. They were actually in power or a position of authority when these things were happening. You know, Beltran is the architect, this, that, and the other thing. He's the only guy who doesn't get another chance. I shouldn't say another. He's the only guy who doesn't get a chance to manage a team because he's just not. I'd totally bring him back. I bet you Mets fans would be thrilled to have him back. Thrilled.
At this point, with the moves they're trying to make, Met fans embrace the franchise now being aggressive. And if they say, not only are we going to be aggressive for players, we're going to be aggressive to bring in the best minds in baseball. Yeah, I get it now. If we think this team is better off with Carlos Beltran helping us win games, and that's the move we're going to make. Look, Cohen's going to take some heat from the New York press and media, be like, wow, you're back, but he's going, so what? But hey, so what? I made a bad move, and I'm going to make my change right now.
I can answer for him. I'm not backpedaling at all. I told you guys from day one I wanted to win. I want to win. I think he gives me a chance to win. I think it's going to come down to the new GM. Who's going to – because Sandy Alderson can't do it forever. Health, age, all these other – baseball's changed, all these things. You know, now that, Moss is out because of this or that, whatever. Who's the new GM? Because I know Buster only – I guarantee at some point – they're going to try and steal Cashman because he loves to do that. I think for no other reason than he just likes to needle us Yankee fans. But whoever the new GM is, if they have any kind of relationship with Beltran, that's why they're there. Because Beltran's coming in. He's going to be the Mets man. It just looks that way.
It makes a lot more sense than it did a week ago after this whole thing. So, Levack, you can cash in that ticket. I wish Rivers would let you bet on something like that to make that happen, but I'm sure it makes a lot more sense.
I'm sure we can find somebody if we needed to. You know what? I want to tell you, we have a new old sponsor.
Yeah, exciting stuff here.
New old sponsor back. I was up talking to Dr. Fred Dreer, Lori, and everybody in the office, and they said, we miss you. And I said, I miss you too. And then they said, have you heard about the Cpap recalls? And I said, no, because I have a mouthpiece. I don't worry about the stupid Cpap. It's not my thing. You guys told me all back in the day I had to be nice to the Cpap because people, whatever, it takes to be healthy. There have been Cpap recalls, so people are all concerned. People are nervous. Now they're thinking of new ways to get things done, and that's where the Integrated Sleep Center comes in. Dr. Fred Dreer, Integrated Sleep Center, 518-885-6185. 518-885-6185. That's not on the notes. I just know that number. And it's good. It's good to talk to them again. It's good to. Last night, best night of sleep I had in forever because they adjusted my mouthpiece, and I slept great. So give them a call. 518-885-6185. IntegrateedSleepCenter.com. A lot of people concerned about the CPAP more than ever. More importantly, insurance companies more willing to work on this mouthpiece that I've got over the face mask now. Perfect time to call Lorraine and the crew. Lorraine will help you out. Dr. is the man. We're going to a baseball game with Dr. We're going to go see one of the biggest Mets fans. So give him a call. Get it going. Start sleeping better today. The Integrated Sleep Center in Boston Spa with Dr. Fred Dreer. They'll help me sleep better. They'll help you sleep better too.
If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you are on our audio version, head over to our YouTube page. All that information is running throughout the entire show on our ticker. And if it's your first time hearing about the Integrated Sleep Center, if it's your first time hearing about the Integrated Sleep Center, Levack, I've got to watch the journey with you, with Dr. Dreer and the crew. I remember the Super Bowl trip where I actually thought you were messing with me because you were trying to snore that loud. And I've watched you progress, and not just you personally. But every time we would do live shows, even through the summer when we were doing live shows on this new format, people ask you about the Integrated Sleep Center because it works, because it has success. So no matter where you're listening, if you're listening to the Capital Region or somewhere across upstate New York, it is truly worth the drive to Boston Spa or worth a call. Information on our YouTube site throughout the entire show. Make sure to write it down during this whole thing. It's awesome, man.
Absolutely. Changed my life. They'll change yours. It's funny. The only downside of it is I've been traveling with the Empire. And now people actually want to room with me. That's how you're one of the only guys on the team who doesn't snore. I'm like, oh, can I have my own room? Oh, man. Speaking of room, how much room in the playoffs for the New York Yankees? Yankees are going to, look, 7 games back doesn't make me very happy. But I still feel like with 29 games remaining between them and the Rays, they both have 29 left. Yankees not only will make the playoffs, they will go in as the AL East champs.
it's kind of getting a little boring. Whoa, wait a minute. So you're still convinced on
They're going to take down the East. They're going to take down the East. I'll tell you what. Did a little homework. Did a little research. Okay. You want to know? Want to know why?
I do.
Strength of schedule, my friend. Strength of schedule. So I have, thanks to our friends at Tankathon, the toughest and easiest opponents for everyone's remaining schedule. Okay. The New York Yankees have the 27th easiest schedule based on the math. They have 3 games against the Rays, 3 games against the Red Sox, 7 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Indians. But they also have 3 against the Mets, 1 against the Twins, 3 against the Rangers, and they have 6 freaking games against the Orioles.
Ooh.
Do you know who the Rays don't play for the rest of the year?
The Orioles?
You're damn right they don't. They've got 3 against the Astros, 3 against the Yankees, 4 against the Sox, 6 against the Blue Jays. They're easy games. They got 7 against the Tigers. They got 3 against the Twins. They got 3 against the Marlins. The Yankees, that's 6 games against the Orioles, and your final 3 games of the season are Yankees-Rays. It's going to come down to those 3 games. Yankees going to take 2 or 3, take the AL East.
Do I think that the Yankees will finish September with a better record than the Rays? Yeah. Tankathon did a great job, and you did there, of laying out how much easier the schedule is for the Yankees and the Rays. But just the math in my head here is telling me that we'll just do 30 for the sake of this conversation, okay? There's 30, 29? Okay, all right. So there's 29 games left. So that means the Yankees would have to go 22-7, and the Rays would have to go somewhere between like 14 and 15. So you're telling me that one of the best teams in the American League would have to basically finish below 500 or somewhere close to that for the Yankees to catch them. I just feel like it's too little too late. That math is not working in the Yankees' favor at this point. They're going to be a playoff team. Last week it made sense because I tell you, I can't stand the Rays because the Yankees, talent-wise, are just far better, and you need teams like the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the White Sox, and the Astros, who actually have really good players, people you want to watch and care about out on the field, as the Rays replace everybody every single season and play Ray baseball, whatever that is, or Kevin Cash is yanking Blake Snell in the playoffs and everything. It's just not good. Oh,
shouldn't be yanking anybody on the field.
But too little too late for the Yankees. And I also think it'd be amazing to get a 1-game playoff between the Red Sox and the Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound. For just the drama of it, now I kind of want to see that happen.
All right, so remember, you're realistically talking about 26 games.
Okay, 20.
Got to get within 3 by the end of the year, so that the 3-game series means more. That's what it really comes down to. Which, look, again, it's still a lot of ground to pick up, not a ton of time to do it. We've seen this team get hot before. Look, the Rays are hot right now. The Rays have been hot almost the entire second half of the season. But what makes more sense for the baseball gods than to have those 3 games at Yankee Stadium, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, be for all the marbles? And there's a big part of me that doesn't want to see Cole burn in a wild card game. Like I want Cole for game 1 of the ALDS. I want Cole ready to go for that, especially the way he pitched. Which, by the time we taped this last night,
yeah,
I don't know when this will be posted. This all guys stuff. I just
monkey
dance, monkey make joke, monkey not understand this world. It's just this is what we need. You want that sports moment while football's going on, both college and pro, while everything else is coming together, that just stops everyone and they're watching a playoff series before a playoff series. Rays, Yankees for the AL East, chance to take on whoever, the lesser opponent with some rest. Take my money.
The drama would be so great if the Yankees could still win the division at that point, but I already know what baseball nerd is going to tell me. If that's a 3-3 series, so like the Yankees would have to sweep the Rays to win the AL East, baseball nerds are going to say never start Cole in that series because they're going to say you need him for the wild card.
Well, you could play in game 1.
You could, but I'm watching people like the Padres out in the West, like Blake Snell again here. Blake Snell gets pulled from a game recently because they want him for the home stretch to get in the playoffs. You're going to start seeing teams here in September who are in the playoff push start sitting guys because they want to save, which is very annoying because at the end of the season you have the most exciting action in your sport, and now your most impact players are just getting ready for the push. I'm curious to see how, let's say it's game 1 and it's 3-3. Yankees got to sweep the Rays to win the division. Is Boone going to let Cole go 125 pitches in game 1 of that and make it basically a play-in series? I don't know. I would like to see it. I think it'd be fun, but I feel like baseball nerds might ruin that for us. I hope they don't. And maybe a Yankee fan goes in that series, makes it even easier. 2 or 1 game. All right, got to win 2 of 3 and you win the AL East, or 1 of 3 you win the AL East. That'd be best case scenario, but I would love to see that drama, but I don't think it's going to happen because of the math. And I wonder if Aaron Boone or Cashman get inside each other's heads and start saying, no, we have to prep for Boston, or we have to prep for something else.
I wish there was a way for us to talk to that one baseball nerd who used to call in all the time. I don't know if there's a way. We have to figure out a way to do that.
I texted him months ago. He didn't respond. I don't know if you reached out to him recently. I think legally he might not be able to.
I was talking about the war thing. I thought.
I'm glad Warpig is not. No, we don't. Maybe we'll give an audio version of Warpig in the future. Audio only. We need that camera. It looks too beautiful right now.
He ain't coming here. I can tell you that. He ain't coming here. That's just a mess. Spraying slobber all over the place, talking about wins above replacement, judging you. That's what he did. A couple of the guys used to call on the show all the time. Might have to
about me, right?
I might have to get like a burner phone. I can't give out my cell phone number on this. They can just call in on the burner.
Yale McKellarton's checking up on me.
Oh, he's the best. He's just a very busy man right now.
I think he's the worst.
He's a very busy man. He just I don't know. He just made a bunch of money in the stock market on like avocados or some crap. I don't know. Yeah, he's always doing something.
Crypto's doing well. I thought he was in on crypto.
Yeah, no, he doesn't believe in that crap. He said he calls it crap too. So that's what he called. He said that. So he said now that I'm team president, he'll grace me with his presence again, but not on this. He doesn't think podcasts are worthy of his time.
Oh, he does it. He does it. Mm-hmm. Well, I think they are. You know who else does? Levack? Look at this. I got a fresh copy. The first read in September. You know why this is on a napkin, basically? I just went to a barbecue place that's near Johnstown.
We're giving everybody love. Dinosaur Barbecue. If you guys get any calls about this crappy podcast, then you got to start sponsoring the crappy podcast. That's all. I think that should be a rule.
I've got some fresh September specials right here for Johnstown. You can hear all across the Goz Media podcast, a family-owned business since 1945 out in Troy. So it is the fall, heating, and time to upgrade your furnace or your boiler at your home. The place to call is Johnstone Supply in Troy. And for some of you, you might feel like you're all good for this fall. You have no issues. No. Johnstone Supply in Troy will also help you with your maintenance, your cleaning, your equipment. Whatever you need, they're available for you as well. Looking to change your filter, looking to make an upgrade, the place for you is Johnstone Supply in Troy. If you want their information, check out their website, call them and more. Guess what? More reasons to head over to our YouTube page. Information on our ticker throughout the entire show. Reach out or stop in, by the way. Say what's up to Tom. You can talk about the Fantasy Football League with him. Maybe my guy George is there. He's getting ready for knee surgery, by the way. Later this month, yeah. Smart guy. He's going to have knee surgery, hang out and watch football for fall.
Man. I will say that a couple of my friends who work in that industry have told me that there's a good chance that like furnaces and boilers and stuff are going to be more expensive now than they've been in a very long time. So like an ounce of maintenance could save you a bunch of money, as getting through this winter. So, and Tom and everybody over at Johnstown, very cool people, and, very, very cool. Johnstown, the fact that they gave Tom a job, I think that speaks to their charitable nature and why he should be nice to them.
He was awesome in the fantasy trap.
He's a cool guy.
You and him, Levack, were the stars of the fantasy trap on Friday.
All right, hold on.
I have a banner for this.
Hold on. Do you want to do it now since it's happening?
I didn't think we were good about the transition. Sit there, we got these way at the bottom.
Way down?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's made at Waller for Sony somewhere. There.
Oh, you spelled Sony wrong. That's why.
Oh, like that?
I think so. No, I keep thinking of Varma Sony, my quarterback for the Albany Empire, the 2021 NAL champion Albany Empire.
Show them the new fresh lid you got on right there.
Oh, this one, the white one. Yeah, this is
nice.
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet stuff right there. Yeah, still got the head lettuce going. What's up? How y'all doing?
Championship shirts still on sale, or what's up the championship?
They are. You just got to find me wherever I am. I thought we were doing this somewhere else.
Sorry.
I got them. I actually went. I got the Square thing, so I can use like credit cards straight into the Empire account and everything. Trying to get these shirts into the hands of the fans is a little more difficult than I anticipated. Turns out I may have been right that I shouldn't have been president of this team, but they don't listen. Stop. They don't listen. But no,
email you for sure.
Yeah, email me. I'll meet you. What I'm going to actually start doing, we'll do the announcement here. We're going to set up some hours every week that we'll be at the office. So we'll be out and about. I know Chris Canoli said they wanted us to come by and say hello. I'd love to go see those guys. Jason, everybody, Chris Canoli are awesome people. Great food, amazing food. But a couple days a week we'll be in the office where we'll just dedicate it to sitting there selling T-shirts for people so they come by. But yeah, it's just getting everything working the way it's supposed to be working has been, what's the word? Shitty.
I was going to say challenging because it's your first time doing it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because it's not just like I've got people who really know how to do things, and even they're sitting there looking at some of the stuff and going, it doesn't make sense why X, Y, and Z isn't working right. And I'm the kind of person that if it's not going to work right, I'm not going to do it. I'll wait. I'll get it right, and then we'll do it right. So that's why we're just grassroots, man. Seriously, Levack at AlbanyEmpire@AOL.com. I'll meet you. I'll sell you a shirt somewhere. We'll do street corner deals. I mean, and if this becomes a business model that works, I'll start selling weed. I don't care. Whatever it takes.
Fantasy football. Yes, we're not Ryan Hooters. You become the talk of Goz and Media because I want to set the stage, and maybe I'm wrong. You can interrupt me when I'm setting
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You finished the draft, and I said out loud, you, along with CBS 6's Chet Davis, in my personal opinion, I know Brian Katie from White Heat and the Space Between Your Ears claims he has the best team.
His name.
Yahoo said he had the best team. I personally thought you and Chet Davis did. Controversy risen following the draft.
It done happened.
You made a trade. You received Darren Waller. You're a Raider fan, the tight end. Dan, our pal from Hooters, traded you Sony Michel. Some managers are upset. Go ahead and take it from there. I'll leave it from there.
Boston Dan from Hooters,
yes,
has a notorious history of drafting my players every chance he gets. To the point where there was literally a moment where he was looking at my iPad to see what I had in queue.
I didn't know that.
Literally. Now, that's not the Waller pick, but like because him and former producer Woods kept looking at my iPad. Now, what screwed was Woods' phone is powered by charcoal or something. I don't know. He couldn't get into the Wi-Fi, so he was working off my hotspot. So as soon as I saw him looking at my queue, I turned off my hotspot. F you. You're not going to use my information against me.
What was going on at the end of that?
There was a lot. There was a lot going on. So Boston Dan grabs Waller. I'm like, you bleepity bleep, and he starts laughing. He goes, what? By the end of the draft, Boston Dan had 4 tight ends
and no running back.
So like seriously, he needed a running back in the worst way. And the entire draft, we were talking about what we were going to trade for me to get Waller. And we knew that he wanted Sony Michel. We knew that I wanted Darren Waller. And he kept trying to give me some old bum named Tom Brady. I kept telling him, no, I want somebody who's not going to break his hip on the 3rd play of the season.
You got Josh Allen as your quarterback already. So
I got Josh Allen.
There, right?
So his running backs at that moment are A.J. Dillon, Kenyon Drake, James White, and Devonta Booker.
Ugh.
Right. So he wants Sony. And I kept trying. I was giving him package deals. So like, if I was getting Waller and he was getting Sony, I was taking back like Kenyon Drake and something or whatever, and he would get whatever. And we're going backward. Finally, with like 4 rounds left, Boston Dan, not me, Boston Dan says straight up Waller for Michel. I go, deal. And I go, are you serious? Because I'm going to change the way I pick my next couple picks. It was like middle of the draft. He goes, absolutely. Are you serious? Because I'm going to do the same. And again, even with this trade, he has Kyle Pitts, he has Hunter Henry, and he had another tight end. He must have already dropped it. And Darren Waller. So he had 4 tight ends by the end of the draft. So I'm like, and I heard everybody go, I want Kyle Pitts. And I'm like, they're going to try and make you an offer for Kyle Pitts. I need a gentleman's agreement right now. Are we really going to go Waller for Michel? Because if we're really locked in on this, rock and roll. And he's like, I want this trade. I go, people are going to bitch. And he goes, I want this trade. Brian Mariano was right there, heard the whole thing. I go, deal. We shook hands. And then Goz makes the proclamation at the end of the draft that my team is going to be in the championship. And I go, well, wait for a second. And as soon as the draft goes final, who proposed the trade?
It sounded like Dan did. Yeah.
Boston Dan is the one who put the trade in. I accepted the trade. And sure enough, all these little former minions of ours back in the radio days, all the Lilliput gang, you know, all 4'0" of Bryce Zielinski or whatever the hell his name is.
Force of the ZNT was not happy.
Is now he's like, hey, you got to do that trade, and then Taylor, who I didn't know Taylor spoke. I thought Taylor was a background character in a movie that you never got to hear saying.
He's happily engaged now. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to him.
I don't know.
All of a sudden he's like, that's a terrible trade, blah, 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 blah. And like
Trav and Ricky's show would go
those two goobers are screaming, pump the brakes. And I'm sitting there going, hold up. I'm not going to take that trade. Are you out of your mind? By the way, who's the best running back on Boston Damn team right now?
It is Sony Michel. That team stinks.
There you go. Gave him a running, and I actually think Sony Michel's going to be a hell of a player this year. I think if you look historically at what McVay's running backs do, McVay's running back do, they perform well. They went and got him for a reason. I think Sony Michel's going to have a hell of a year. I think he's a 1,000-yard back. He's probably 7 to 10 touchdowns. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. I think the Rams are going to have a hell of a year.
Yeah, who won the Super Bowl?
I haven't won the Super Bowl. I think that it's a better trade than people realize. Waller's a better player in the trade. I can understand why people would be mad, but like, you want me to say no? You want me to shut that down?
Two things to add to that, because some people listening to this may have that happen this weekend. You might be in the fantasy football draft this weekend, and you might hear a trade go down that you don't think is fair. Here's how I defended this. Sean Martin over M&M across the board said this, and I think it's the right answer for it. You both accepted it.
Yeah.
It's the preseason. It's not as if like when we were in an old league, our guy Mike James was trying to trade injured players for healthy players because he was so bored of the league. I'm like, you can't do that.
Garbage.
If you wanted to trade future draft picks, and we haven't made this a keeper league, so you can't do that. The biggest part of that whole thing you just told me that I did not realize is the Kyle Pitts thing.
Yeah.
Because thinking out loud, I'm like, okay, a more fair trade for both of you, well, not so much you because you got Waller, but would have been Pitts for Sony Michel, because Pitts is a rookie. We don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
But now knowing the context of people trying to get Pitts from Dan probably's got in his head, he's got a few beers deep. He's like, oh, no. I want Pitts because Pitts might be, I don't know, the third best tight end in the league. Or whatever that ends up being.
By now you've told me who you want, right?
Yeah.
Now I have the power, like He-Man. Also similar to you now try to change what I want. Well, then I'm gonna keep negotiating. Dan put a value on Sony Michel and decided to pay the price. And look, Kyle Pitts could go off. Sony Michel could go off. We could be looking at this later going, didn't really make a damn bit of difference.
Waller could blow out his knee week one.
Well, I'll stab you in the heart.
There might be a knife in here, actually.
There's always a knife around.
Anyways, but yes, I think overall, I, as a commissioner, had to pass through the trade because both willing participants, both preseason.
And I didn't even suggest it.
And you didn't suggest it. I didn't know that. So there we go. The controversy is ended now. Your team is very good. You are the marked man, Levack, in this league. You're the number one seed. You're the Alabama of the Guys of the Media Fantasy Football League.
That's fine. You know the beauty of being who I am right now in this league? Can't catch me. I'm the only champion in this league. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm the champion.
Wait, we don't have a champion. It's the first year of the league.
I'm sorry. I was
talking to claim a championship like you.
I was talking to Mike Cordes today over at Techie's Fire and Water Restoration, and he was desperately trying to get me to bring the trophy home and pull it out during them. And now I'm wishing I had listened to him. He's like, dude, you got to just randomly bring, like we just leave it in your house, like it's in your house all the time for whenever you need it. You just pull out the trophy. And it's here.
Mike's got a 1-week suspension from the show, anyways, for his antics in the last show.
What did he do?
And you know the video when he was trying to hide his situations with my legs during the show.
You do that to people all the time. You can't be upset about that.
All the time.
You cannot be upset about that. I feel like you were pitching forward to a little college football, but real quick before we do that, I do want to point out with all the rains and nastiness around, we probably should give a little love to our friends over at Techie's Fire and Water Restoration. Your best way back to normal. Visit online, tefirewater.com. I have a lot of people I know who, damp basements, mold issues, stuff like that, and they're calling Techie's and they're getting taken care of. Whether it's Don, Jay, Jeremy, Mike, you don't want Mike in your house. He's not a house broker. Just a great group of people. All kidding aside, Te Fire Water Restoration. Best way back to normal. Call the office anytime. Amy will usually be there to take your call, get you all cleaned up, get you all straightened out. great guys. Actually, Jay's been working with my brother. My brother, my brother's house has been having some water damage, and I guess it's been a little tough with the insurance company. So Jay's been kind of like guiding my brother through the process. You know, they don't all go perfect, but at least you got somebody on your side. Techie Fire and Water Restoration. Best way back to normal. Online, tefirewater.com.
This is the day college football is back. Now, we're recording on Thursday before the Thursday night games have kicked off, but we got Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, packed with college football. Before we dive into the deeper teams of the FBS, I think I got to sit on the New York college teams for a second. And I say New York with no disrespect to Army. They might have a pretty good season. If you want a full ABC breakdown of 26 teams in New York State from D1 all the way to D3, GonzillaMedia.com. But the two teams I want to focus on in particular here are Syracuse and New Albany.
Yeah. So we're posting stuff on the website now?
I am, yes. If you want, you can post whatever you want. The NFL picks are going up next week.
I already gave you the picks, though.
Yeah. If you ever want to post it on the website, you're more than welcome to.
Can I just do like fart noises? Just various like.
Just click on this audio for Levack Smart Noise of the Week. I was thinking if you did give me just an open drop point, I guarantee you I could get certain people to call and leave you messages. Okay.
I guarantee you get
I can work on that.
McGill or in your life that way.
If that's the case, it won't be open. But Nicole, Nicole runs the website. She might be able to figure that out.
I don't trust her.
Here's what I'm nervous about with
I don't
Syracuse.
trust skinny people.
Syracuse and New Albany football. There's a chance combined into this 5 games in, 5 games into Syracuse and 5 games into New Albany that they might combined only have 2 wins. Because think about this out loud.
Are they both New Albany's?
Honestly, they could be New Albany's, yes. All right, so Syracuse's first 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
It is now a pick'em against the Ohio Bobcats.
That's a pick'em?
That's a pick'em, right?
How much better are they in the world, in the eyes of Vegas, if they just went with DeVito as their quarterback? Because they're going to do that joint quarterback room,
yeah.
Right? So I think that's hurting them. I think people are looking at that as a big negative.
Because Jared Schrader could take off and run for Mississippi State. So, yeah, DeVito being the quarterback for his 5th year, he was the biggest recruit for Syracuse's McNabb. He's never been living up to the hype of what he was. So they play Ohio, who they might get beat by. They're going to be an underdog to Rutgers.
Rutgers is going to be.
Yeah.
Rutgers is a team you're going to want to watch this year.
So you've got Rutgers, you've got U Albany week 3. I'm blanking on the 4th team. Oh, Liberty. Liberty on a Friday night, who actually was really good last season. And then they got Florida State. So there's a chance that Syracuse could be 1-4, or if you want to pick the Great Danes, 0-5. You flip it over to the Great Dane side. You're playing North Dakota State.
I talked to Coach Katuso today. He's just saying what a good team they are. He wants to take it in the 4th quarter. He feels like if they take it into the 4th quarter as a game, there's a chance. But it's North Dakota State's kind of team. They could run on you early, and then you're in trouble.
You've got Rhode Island week 2, and you and I both saw the Rams in week 2 years ago at Casey Stadium. They're really good.
By the way.
Yeah, they're a good team. The 18th, they play Syracuse on the road, so they play in the Carrier Dome, an FBS opponent. Then they get Delaware on the road and William and Mary on the road. So if you want to call those games coin flip games with U Albany, that's fine. But I would like to have Delaware and William and Mary at home rather than away to start the season. Those are 2 really tough schedules for both those teams for first 5 games of the season.
Well, the worst part is, so we have an idea what Syracuse is, right? You got to see them play enough last year. We really don't know what U Albany is. If U Albany is playing straight through, just what we've seen, the growth of that team, that playoff team into this, I would feel really confident in being able to take 2, 3 of those games easy. You know what I mean? That's what I would feel. But knowing that they haven't been able to play, and it's all even their practice has been restricted, and it's tough. It's tough to go ahead and just pick them to win games. What I'm really hoping is that it's exactly, even if you don't beat North Dakota State, which again you're gonna. I haven't seen numbers because you can't bet it in New York anyway, legally. I've got to imagine they're 20-point dogs.
I was going to say 20.5, so we're probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So let's say you keep that in a touchdown. That's a win. I'm sorry. I know there's no such thing as a moral victory, but that's a win, and I would have won money on it if I was allowed to. Cuse is going to be a hell of a game because, again, I don't know exactly what Cuse is. They're doing the 2-quarterback system, which, side note, remind me to get back to this, San Francisco is going to do that this year, and it's going to be freaking scary in the NFL. But a lot of these games, you get a U Albany team that comes out against North Dakota State, keeps within a touchdown, takes in the 4th quarter, and then at home beats Rhode Island. I start looking at them like, okay, they figured it out. Like, even though they weren't able to be together as a team and do the things they normally do and play games, they figured it out. Let's go. You get wiped by North Dakota State and then you lose at home to Rhode Island. That tells me that the layoff hurt, and it should hurt. But I would never write off this team. Seeing these guys, we had them over to the Empire when you were doing the
broadcast.
Yeah, you were up on the broadcast. I had the guys. I brought in as many players we can bring in, and just good dudes. Every single one of them. 100 football players, 100+ football players, walked past me. Each one dapped me up. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's awesome.
Undercover. Thanks, Jeff. Beaufort. What's up, Levack? But each one of them took the time to thank me for bringing them to the game. All I did was give them tickets. You know what I mean? Like whatever. That's a good group of guys that Gattuso's got over there. That's a great coaching staff. They will figure it out as the year goes on, but you're right. The first couple weeks for both teams, and I'll predict this right now. Week 3, there will be a winner and a loser. So neither one of those teams is going to be able to be undefeated or defeated. So I'm putting that out there. I'll put my name on that one. Levack, Week 3, QSU Albany. There will be a winner and there will be a loser.
You're already playing the over because you already got one win somewhere between
Somebody's got to win.
over the two, right?
Somebody's got to win.
For those who aren't familiar with Albany, if you're listening to this Albany team, here's how you do a headline version of the season for this program the last 3 years. 2019, they had a freshman quarterback who led FCS in passing touchdowns. Jeff Undercuffler.
Yep.
Still the quarterback of the team.
Every team mentions him.
Yeah. Preseason. They've got a preseason All-American running back coming back in Carmo who you just mentioned, in the backfield. They had Dev Holmes, who's left the program, but were able to recruit him and bring him into the program, who is, he is the third best offensive player in all of New York State high school football the last 20 years. The only two that are better are Mike Hart and Ashton Broyle from Rochester. That's how good Dev Holmes was in high school. And they had Jawan Green, who just scored in an NFL game for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
So there's where the Albany football program
Wait till the CFL starts playing. You're going to see about 5 or 6 teams pop.
Yeah. So Albany and those games against Rhode Island and William and Mary and Delaware, can they win? Absolutely. They can go on. But what I wonder about Albany football is that spring season, if you didn't follow it, they suffered so many injuries. They had to cancel the season.
But I will point out that was also a byproduct of they couldn't practice.
Yep.
They couldn't practice. It's freezing cold outside. If you practice inside, you can only have everybody to stay socially distant. They are light years ahead of where that team was. Hindsight being 2020, I'm glad they tried to play that, but realistically, they should have punted. They should have said no, thank you. I get my teeth kicked in the Empire office because I was one of the people that when they first reached out to me and said, there's all these restrictions, should we play? And I was like, I wouldn't play. Well, now they won a championship, so I'm an idiot. But it is so much clearer just knowing Gattuso that he's not sitting here going and reeling off, but he feels comfortable and confident that his guys are more prepared right now than they were for that spring season.
Yeah, so they're going to be a fun team to watch. And on the Syracuse side, look, if Dino Babers doesn't have that 10-win season, people are talking about Babers being overrated at Syracuse and maybe being done at Syracuse. I'm sure there are going to be some Syracuse Orange fans that say, wait, last season they won 1 game. The over-under in places where you can wager on New York college teams is 3. I think the Bear Felica just took the under. So you're telling me Syracuse is going to go 1-10 and 2-10, and the coach is going to go 3-20, and you're going to keep him? Babers might be done. My goal would be this. Here's my 2. I'm hoping for this. Albany football gets back to the FCS playoffs, and they may give me another home game like that in 2019. And Syracuse football gets to 6 wins, and they play in the Pinstripe Bowl or the Fenway Park Bowl or whatever it is. Those would be my realistic. I'm hoping for that, but I think these early 5 games are going to be tough for both those teams, at least for the New York teams.
How many people work for Godzilla Media? Well, I don't say work. How many people are part of Godzilla Media now?
Right now, there are. I didn't give you a shirt. I'm actually going to Cortland tomorrow to see our partners Graphtex. Make sure to order from our guy Derek Allen, who I'm meeting with tomorrow, who hopefully has some shirts for me. 23 contributors we have to Godzilla Media.
I heard that you were going to bring all of us to either the Pinstripe Bowl or the Fenway thing if Syracuse was in it. I heard you were going to bring us. You were going to get a bus. You're going to put us all on the bus. You're going to have TG2 as the tour guide. Chris, CrossFit Kringle.
Yeah.
He's going to be the tour guide. and we're going to go. I
All right.
heard it's a Godzilla media trip.
You have heard correctly.
Whoa!
If Syracuse football can get to 6 or 7 wins, and they played either Fenway Park or Yankee Stadium, I will find a way to get Godzilla Media to do a bus giveaway with all the contributors, and we'll do, yes, I will make that happen. I say that now in hopes and so happy.
He's going to root against your team.
No, I'm not. I'm going to root for Syracuse.
Like, hey, Rex, when you see this one year, the reason that you had to go to community college is I taught your dad about it. It's my fault. You can blame me. Please send all hate mail to Levack and Albany Empire, NAL.com.
As good as the New York teams are you excited for the whole thing for FBS? I know you're a Michigan fan. For those who don't know, I'm a Syracuse fan, but I feel like the whole thing for just having fans back in college game day and League Corso, this is going to be a great year for college football across the country.
I'm going to answer this 2 ways. Since you brought the Michigan fan part, I'll answer it as that first. I am not excited. I don't know what to expect, and I don't know if it's a good thing if they win. Like I don't know, because what is Harbaugh now? Like I heard a rumor, like obviously the defense is going to be better, younger, faster. He grabbed the dude from the Ravens staff, but I've heard he's going to go back to his style of offense. You can't keep juggling your style of offense, unless that he looked around and that's the talent I have. He has not been able to find a quarterback the entire time he's been at Michigan. If they have a good year but still don't beat Ohio State and don't go to a really great bowl game, should he keep his job? I love Michigan because of the prestige and the history, but when you just go, hey, we got to hire a Michigan man, can we change what Michigan man means? Can Michigan man mean the guy who wins at Michigan? Because that makes you nervous. They go on a winning streak if they start playing really well. They got Western Michigan in week 1 who can score. They can score. I think. Excuse me. I just burped. That was disgusting. I would like to apologize on behalf of myself and my forefathers. All 4 of my 4 dads. I think they could go on a little bit of a run, get my hopes up, and then rip the rug out from underneath me. I'm excited to see Rutgers play. I'm excited to see Minnesota play. I think Minnesota might give Ohio State something they ain't ready for.
That's a weird spread tonight. 13.5 if you're listening.
Row that boat, baby.
Yeah.
Row that boat.
TJ Fleck, a former Western Michigan. By the way, Tim Lester, who took over for him, both a Syracuse guy and he used to be teammates with my former coach, John Jurok at Hobart, who's now at Wilkes University. Look at all those connections.
6 degrees of Gozlowski.
For Michigan, like you mentioned the Big Ten overall there. Yeah, Ohio State's going to be a big favorite. But this is going to be a cool year in the Big Ten because there's going to be a lot of names we don't know right now who are going to break out. And that hopefully is the thing for teams like Michigan and Michigan State and Wisconsin, where you've had a lot of people leave the program or transfer out. It feels like all these years, like Michigan's always got like a really cool skill player, like a Braylon Edwards or a Mike Hardwick, Chad Henne, like those.
Well, Mike Hart, by the way. Mike Hart might be the next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, he's bouncing around.
If he he's getting things done. If you want a Michigan guy, okay, give me Mike Hart. I don't care. I wish Harbaugh.
I mean, look, okay, if Harbaugh can go, here's a fun one. If Harbaugh goes 9-2 and then goes to the Ohio State game and beats Ohio State, he goes 10-2. That's a victory season for Michigan.
He goes 2-10 and beats Ohio State. There's gonna be a lot of people just as long as it shuts up Trout up at Hideaway, I don't give a crap. But just win one game. Actually, how great would that be if they just get run by everybody, but they annihilate Ohio State?
0-11.
Ohio State just gets their teeth kicked in by Michigan at the end, and it's just like it's what keeps them out of the national championship picture. Oh,
Trout's gonna love this because I made this call. Trout's gonna love it.
It's college football season. His name is now Turd.
Turd?
Not Trout. It's Turd until college football season's over.
I would pick Ohio State to win the national championship this season.
No way.
I did.
Nope.
I think here's what happens with Alabama. Look, they don't have Tua or Mac Jones or Hurts, but they're gonna find Bryce Young. Like it's Alabama. I'm not concerned. My lock of the week is that Alabama will smoke Miami. They're gonna beat them by 4 touchdowns. I cannot wait to drop a big stack of cash in my mind on Alabama. In my mind, I think it's gonna be a lot. Yeah, in my mind, it's gonna be $6.90 will be my bet.
You better be really conservative, man, because you're gonna take us out of a bowl game.
I know, right? But the thing is that Alabama will be tested in the SEC. Yeah. Clemson, North Carolina is gonna be a fun game if they play them in the ACC title game. I just can't find someone who really can test Ohio State in the Big Ten. And because of that, I feel like they're going to have the easiest path to get to the national championship game. And Ryan Day has been an awesome coach taking over for Urban Meyer. So I think they're the easiest team to get to that spot.
Is Ryan Day the one who's going to open the pros?
Boy, the way he's coaching now, somebody should pick up the phone and call him because they need to replace a legend in Urban Meyer. And they have not missed a beat.
How great would that be? Urban flames out. He goes right down to Jackson. He follows him again. I don't know if you'll go for this bet. I saw in the show notes that you said like Bama, OSU, and everybody else. I will bet you right now I'll take the field. 30 rack of beer. I don't know what you want to do. Nice, dinner under the orange roof over a Hooters, something like that.
I get both. I get Bama and Ohio State.
You get Bama and Ohio State. I get everybody else.
Give me Bama, Ohio State, and Syracuse, and I'll call it a deal.
Can you imagine? You know what? Yes.
All right, deal.
All day, yes.
All right.
Simply because I would never want to lose a bet more than have Syracuse somehow be the one that wins that bet. I would never, I'll lose that bet all day long.
30 rack of beer it is for some from Ultra Wine and Spirits or our future sponsor.
Whoever wants it. Because Bama hasn't won back-to-back since, 2012?
Yep.
Was last time they were able to do it. Ohio State, very good, but a lot of turnover. A lot of turnover. I think Minnesota's going to have something to say to them. I think you're going to see some teams give them fights that are going to be interesting. And, Texas A&M, they might be next year's team, but they're so good and they're so young, they don't know any better. So if they get on a run and start slapping people around, they may just be like, we're seniors. I don't care if we're sophomores. We're seniors. That whole team is sophomores.
1 year, they're just going to break through because the talent's there. They're always going to sit around between 3 and 7. And they just might lose to Bama, but 1 year they're going to catch them when they had Johnny Manziel, and they're going to break through eventually 1 year with Jimbo.
And Georgia's got
to
win one time. Georgia's got to win. They haven't won in how I feel like they haven't won in a million years.
Double-digit halftime lead in the national championship because Alabama, a backup quarterback, came in and beat them for the title game. It was 2, of course, but Georgia was right there. They beat Clemson. If the Bulldogs beat the Tigers, you can make an argument that Georgia should be the #1 team in the country for week 2.
Columbus, Georgia just lost in the Arena League Championship, so Georgia's got to win, right? I like that line.
Have you seen JT Daniels, their quarterback? I got it on my phone. Actually, I'll show you a picture of him real quick. He's got the full mustache and Shakespearean look.
I got the beard. I'm going full beard. Now that I got the grays, I got some grays coming in.
There's JT Daniels.
Oh my God!
I don't know if we get that close enough.
Yeah, just get right in there.
There's JT Daniels. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you are wondering, Goz, why do you have that picture on your phone? Don't you worry about what's on my phone.
Thank.
Don't you worry about it.
Thank.
My other picture is my friend passed out.
Thank. Those
are my other college football picks for the weekend. Let's go real quick on them. Alabama is going to destroy Miami. I got South Alabama, which is also a Bear Felica pick. He likes that. I agree with him. I like Florida Atlantic to cover against the Gators, 23.5. And I want a Big Ten noon kickoff under 50.5. Penn State, Wisconsin are my 4 picks.
I don't know where I put my picks.
I think I'll drop my picks down and do them. I tell them, got over there.
I don't even have them written down anywhere. I don't think I'm ready yet.
No, I don't think I'm ready to do
tough,
man. College and
I don't run away. The thing is, I wrote down some plays because you want to hear how bad I've been dialed in to arena football and to the Tech East world. I thought tonight was opening night for the NFL. I thought I was a week ahead. I was a week ahead. It was bad. All right, I like Rutgers. I'm gonna lay the 14 with Rutgers. I like over 69 for BSU and UCF.
Nice.
I'm taking the almost 2 touchdowns if I can get them with Minnesota. And then I think Vodtech +6.
Hey.
I think Vodtech +6 is a play.
Enter Sandman's going to be playing Layden Stadium, a night
My
game.
assistant, Lindsay, who made her appearance on the last podcast, she's down there. She's a Virginia Tech kid. I think so. That's one of those ones where they opened as a 4-point dog. It got bet up almost instantly to a 5, and it's been trickling up. So I think the public's on this thing, and I think it's gonna be a 3 or 4 point game. So give me Vodtech +6. I feel pretty good about that.
Nice. We got 2-4 plays for the weekend.
Pretty bad that I wrote everything down. Couldn't remember any of it. Then looked at it and went, oh yeah, those are the things.
I got an NFL story for you. I got a wild story. But before we get to those 2 stories, I want to tell you about our friends, and you can too, at Mohawk Honda.
Oh, yeah.
It is now fall, Levack. Even though Labor Day is not officially hit, some people are still looking to change their ride. Maybe they're going to these tailgates. Maybe they're driving down for a big game. You don't want to worry about your vehicle when you're making that ride. Mohawk Honda can help you. Selection is king at Mohawk Honda. Yeah, if you're looking to trade in your vehicle and you want to make that change, you're not stranded on the road freezing, Mohawk Honda can help you. Get the
You want
money.
selection? You want Mohawk Honda?
Yeah, call Cam McKenna. My guy Greg Johnson over there as well. Great people. The Harridan family and more, always helping out people across upstate New York. Yes. Now you can do the same for yourself. I love my Pilot. I drove it out here. Levack's always been working with Mohawk. Do the same for yourself.
Harridan family. That's my jam.
Yes.
Those are my people.
It's worth the drive over to Freemansbridge Road in Glenville to change your vehicle. Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of the way to please you.
It's a good point. If you don't like a drive over to Freemansbridge because you're in the wrong vehicle, you get in that one, you start finding reasons to go for a 15, 10-minute, 20-minute drive, whatever. You'll get all about it. It's a thing. You gotta use your noodles sometimes. I love me some Mohawk. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's gonna be a bad one time. I'll try. I can't shave a Mohawk though because I got I'm thin right here. Like of all the places, right here, I'm just a little thin. So if I do a Mohawk, it looks like two different haircuts.
In my mind, I'm like, Levack's gonna have the Mohawk haircut, and they're gonna drop that poor girl Madison Vandenberg from the commercial. Mohawk Honda, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's the commercial.
Yeah. Mohawk, where they go out of their way to please you. And I'll start fixing my hair. I'm all in. If they want to do that.
Jeff Harridan.
Yeah. Steve Harridan. Give me a Lindsay. Actually, I haven't talked to Lindsay in a while. Lindsay, love you. Yeah, this Cam Newton being kicked by the Patriots. By the way, it's Levack and Goz. Make sure you what is it? Like, subscribe, comment,
rate and review. Yes, all
rate and review. Oh, see, I don't understand how that. I don't care about any of that.
That should what it be. Download, subscribe, rate, review. Don't care. It's the new take for Levack and Goz podcast world.
I don't care. Comment. If you watch this and you get a laugh, or you listen to this and you have a good time, or you want to email or talk to us or whatever. Do I have a Godzilla email?
No.
All right, Levack
you want one?
AlbanyEmpireNAL.com. I don't care. I mean, I just want people to be able to get a hold of me. Whatever.
I care, so please do those things.
You want Levack at GodzillaMedia.com?
Yeah.
Email?
Yeah.
Is that going to cost you more money?
Yeah, you're going to have to pay me for that.
All right, Levack at Albany Empire. Levack at TEFirewater.com or Levaction at Gmail. Little Levaction in the back section. Cam Newton's done, right? He's done. It's over. Who's taking it? Who's gonna deal with Cam Newton? And I know he seems like a good dude. He's a bit of a headache. He's a little flamboyant, a little over the top. He is going to cause problems for your starting quarterback. So if you were to bring him in behind, Trevor Lawrence has a bad week. Well, you just got rid of Gardner Minshew to make sure there's no pressure on him. Bye. Philadelphia, the Washington football team, now you got Fitzmagic. You don't need him.
I know what you mean by that comment. There's someone who might hear that and be confused by cause issues and you have to deal with. Do you mean in the sense of how good he was in the past, or because he's actually unvaccinated and people may say, oh, because he's not vaccinated, somebody might come in close contact and all that stuff? You meant more football, X's and O's, not
football, but I will tell you this. I guarantee there's a lot of places that maybe it's not the head coach, maybe it's not the GM, maybe it's not the owner, maybe it's one of those, whoever. There's going to be a lot of places that are going to look at him and go, I just don't want to deal with it. The best ability, especially for a backup quarterback, is available. And where would he start? Unless somebody got hurt. Houston? Really? You want another problem in the quarterback room? Philadelphia? If you hadn't just gone for Gardner Minshew, maybe. But, I mean, that's already a quarterback room of Jalen Hurts, Joe Flacco, and Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
That's a time bomb waiting to explode.
The two that jump out to me, one is Pittsburgh, because Ben Roethlisberger doesn't finish seasons, he gets hurt. So if you want to put in a big physical quarterback back there, Cam would make sense. You don't think he fits the culture, right? He doesn't seem like a
I'm not even talking about culture.
Ben's attitude?
Oh, Ben. Oh, my God. Can you imagine if you brought in a former MVP, a Super Bowl quarterback, a guy who fans are going to love? Ben will shit his pants. He'll be in an air cast at the press conference. Full body. Yeah, full body. He'll be like one of those sumo suits. I'm hurt. I'm playing hurt. Love me. I'm hurt. No, can't do it. Can't do it. No, Cleveland.
I mean, Cleveland would make
backing
sense.
up Baker.
What about New Orleans? Because if Jameis Winston's the starter, isn't basically Cam Newton a way better version of Taysom Hill?
No, because Taysom Hill knows what you want to do. Baltimore.
I've heard Baltimore is the most likely landing spot.
I got a running quarterback who isn't super accurate outside the numbers down the field. I bring in a backup who's the exact same thing, only older. That might be the one. But again, if I'm Harbaugh, I don't want to deal with that. Because and Lamar Jackson's kind of he's not gonna, I don't think he would have a problem with it. It's a problem. There's enough little problems. The vaccination thing, okay, well that's a demerit. It's a small demerit, but it's a demerit. I got to deal with it. The flamboyance, that's a demerit. I got to deal with it. I got to listen to it. I got to hear about it. I don't want my backup quarterback to be on the cover of Vogue. You know what I mean? Like, or GQ or whatever the hell else. But also, if I bring him in and he doesn't have a legitimate shot at being my starting quarterback, is Cam Newton going to be okay?
Yeah, to answer that, what style of Cam Newton? I remember for 2 years, it was mostly like 2.5 years, we've talked about, we don't know the Cam Newton that's going to play. Because it was talked about in late 2018, early 2019, that Cam Newton was going to stop being a running quarterback to save time on his career, and then he got hurt in Carolina in 2019. And then he barely got signed till right towards the end for New England, and then he got COVID. He played fine in September, but he got COVID and never really was the same quarterback. And then he gets cut in 2021. So I would say I would still stick with Saints and Steelers, but you made two good points of why it's not going to be there. But those would be my two teams, or not in the league. Unless a big injury happens here in September and a team is desperate for a quarterback, then they sign him.
That could work. But you're not going to bring him in for mop-up either,
No.
right? You've got to have a chance. All right, let me get into my San Fran point.
Okay.
Did you watch San Francisco 49ers versus Las Vegas Raiders preseason?
I did. We were talking about the game where they played Garoppolo and Lance together, the packages. That
Oh,
game? Yeah.
my God. Because, look, when you do that, you've seen it at the college level. Especially Deuce has tried to do it a couple times.
Yeah.
Denver's last team I remember who really made a run at this in the pros, where you had was Tommy Maddox, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but one Maddox is more of a pocket passer.
Big Ben.
No, Denver.
I think. Oh, I think you said Denver.
Pittsburgh did it too, but no, I think it was Denver. It was like back in I might be wrong.
I think
Maddox.
Tommy Maddox Pittsburgh all the time
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah.
So, well, because that was after he won the XFL MVP and everything. But they did it, and it was you get the offsides, and you get the people don't realize where they're supposed to be, whatever. San Francisco executed that so flawlessly. Of Garoppolo one down, Garoppolo runs off the field, Trey Lance runs onto the field with the play, so I don't have to I'm telling you what the play is. And the Raiders didn't have their number one defense with them, at least not all of it. So there is some of that could have changed it. But if you can do that and not cause issues with your team, if you're so disciplined and so well thought out that you can do it and not cause yourself a problem, look out for the freaking 49ers.
Very elementary football stuff the Niners do, which it sounds like an insult, but it's not, because Kyle Shanahan has figured that out. Two things off the top you just said there. Running the plays from the sideline is very Pop Warner high school-y, because you get run a kid out there with the play.
Or when the helmet thing doesn't work, you know.
And the second part is give your best athlete to football as your quarterback, which is Trey Lance in the backfield. The issue with the Niners in Garoppolo versus Lance, and this is one of a classic Levack and Goz conversation. I've done this for 5+ years of, you always look at it as, Goz, give me the best players on the field every single time. So that's how you should do it. Don't care about anything else. Or I look at behind them okay, Garoppolo, the Niners had a huge issue with Garoppolo because he's on the 53-man roster now, obviously, but they were going to have to make a decision of, he is owed $23 million this season. So if you want Trey Lance to be your starter, that means Garoppolo is going to sit on the bench and make about, $1.3 million holding the clipboard? So you've got to make a decision, and it looks like they did that. Garoppolo is going to start, but when they don't have a play for him, Lance is going to play, and they're really going to do this at the NFL level.
And if they can get you on your heels and you can't change your defensive packages fast enough, screw you, we're coming for you. But you also, I think when you look at a guy like Garoppolo, one of the biggest – Garoppolo versus Cam Newton, right? What are the differences? They look very similar, I know. Garoppolo's more of a wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful of it. And Cam's the kind of guy who's like, yo, you didn't notice me in the last 15 minutes, let's go. And I'm not saying one's wrong, one's
right.
Can
we go back to the analogy, though?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful of it.
Oh, I got to say, I thought you said eat.
No, it's an old saying. That's what I think my dad used to say.
Okay.
Anyways. But it's just he's the ultimate team guy. He sat behind Brady. He dealt with the injuries, and everybody told him, Nick Mullins is better than he is. This one's better. He, ego-wise, appears to be the kind of guy who could handle losing snaps if he thought it was for the good of the team and they were going to win. Cam's not. If Cam thinks he's the best guy, Cam's going to say something. I think Garoppolo is the kind of guy who can handle it, and I think when you do your quarterback position, right? So I got 3 quarterbacks I'm going to pay that room a sum total of $31 million. You stop worrying about who's getting what, and you win football games. There's $31 million in that room. 20 of it's going to Jimmy Garoppolo. He's coming in when I need him to. Trey Lance is on his rookie contract. He's getting 4 or 5.
Yep.
And then whoever you're the other quarterback.
All right.
And you just live with it. You live with it until you don't need to anymore. And if Trey Lance takes over more and more of the play time, more and more of the accuracy and everything else, right now he's only throwing fastball. It's scary. Like, I would not want to be the receiver catching that ball because you're going to break some fingers.
And Trey Lance is very played the last couple
right.
With the COVID and
right.
I think he got hurt or he just wasn't on the field that much. For
$20 million insurance policy sitting over there Garoppolo. But again, you get to the trade deadline and Lance is perfect. All right, who wants Jimmy G? Let's talk. But my quarterback room's still making what my quarterback room's supposed to make, and I got a guy who can ego-wise handle it. I roll with it.
It will be really fun to see if that actually is what the Niners do because it's different, it's unique, it's something we haven't seen in the NFL, and that's what's really fun about football here before kickoff is that we don't see that stuff coming, but like you did, like you obviously see these two quarterbacks, but that will take over the NFL. That will be the entire first September talking point is how the hell did Shanahan and the Niners pull that off?
You got to be a special mind to make that work. Because like you can play Madden and you can think about what you're going to do and you can do some sub packages and stuff like that, but to get 11 adult millionaires to all buy in and do it the way they're supposed to do it, 11 at a time.
Yeah.
And get it off the field, the whole nine. Meanwhile, the other team is barking and making all these noises and doing all these things, trying to screw with you, trying to rip your head off. To get that to work, you're a special kind of coach, man. And Shanahan, I know it's only preseason, and again, not all the ones were out there, and but that looked scary. Like, I think the Rams win it all.
Yes. I
got a little nervous. I was like, if they can make that work in a regular season game, and they're keeping your run-stopping package on the field, and you really want to get the nickel or the dime in there, and you can't, because if you do, okay, well then the next play we're going to flip it again, right?
Yes.
It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun. Would have preferred it was out against my favorite team, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
I thought that would have been the NFL preseason and the changes and the new style of football would have been the biggest thing we would have probably got the most reaction out of and talked about something scary. Did you hear about the story involving Bishop, Sycamore, and how they ended up on ESPN?
I did only because one of my friends works at IMG.
I didn't even know that. All right, for those who don't know,
my friend's staff works at IMG.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's head of human resources.
So for those who don't know, the story is that IMG Academy, the #1 football team in the country at the high school level, and high school's a loose term there.
Right.
A Division I factory. It's basically a prep school that's being hided as a high school, or hid as a high school. Like Bishop, Sycamore, and Anish Shroff, who you and I have both talked to before. Anish just didn't care on the broadcast. He's like, we looked up these players. They said they had multiple D1 players. We'll be honest, we haven't been able to find that. The stories come out later. This is basically the catfish of ESPN. The school is the South Harmon Institute of Technology. It's not even a real school. They have
the Levack and Goz Northwestern East Coast School of Technology.
University, that's right. Well, I think Will Fish was one of our first students. He
Will
applied
Fish,
for it, right?
Jamal Crossley, a couple.
Those guys got in there. So what do you make of the almost 60-0 blowout in Bishop Sycamore catfishing their way onto ESPN as a fake high school?
Okay. If you're going to take a bunch of grown damn men and put them against high school kids, you can't get beat.
You got to put one in the end zone at least, right?
You can't get beat.
JUCO kids and stuff.
You can't get beat. Like, look, I get it. Like, I go to Shaker games, I go to South Colony games, whatever. There's kids playing high school football right now that make us look tiny. I get it. I see that. Boy, you can't get run. Like, you put together like a team that's grown. What's the other thing? Like, would Alabama be able to beat Cleveland or whatever? Would it? No college team will ever beat a pro team. Ever.
Never.
So when you put a bunch of grown damn men together, pretend to be a high school team, and you get run, because his goal was to get some of these dudes back into playing and stuff like that, and make some money off them playing or whatever.
Yes.
You can't. I mean, that's embarrassing. You're grown damn men. You are grown damn men getting run off the field by high school kids.
And you met him or them by the coach, who, by the way, has an arrest warrant. I don't know if he's actually in jail by now at this point or when we're taping her in prison, but his arrest was wanted in the States who was coaching the team. This is remarkable. Now, I think you and I can offer some interesting perspective here because we've kind of understood that everyone could just shit all over ESPN and say, how could you do this? How could you let this pass through? And trust me, that was my first reaction to.
Well, it's got to be in there.
But you and I know that production companies partner with ESPN. So even though ESPN has thousands of hours per year, maybe hundreds of thousands of hours per year of coverage, ESPN as an entity is not always physically at that place.
Right.
Like they probably called somebody. I'm almost 100% sure they did. They probably called somebody and said, "Hey, what's the best high school game?" Okay.
Yeah,
you guys know all the production.
They have like a booking. Yeah, they have like a booking company.
So it's honestly, look, ESPN didn't do their due diligence, but there's another company that just sold it to ESPN and said, "All right, like that's your guys' gig. You know, whatever. Pay us, use our logo. We'll take the money. Thank you very much." And it blew up. And I think it's awesome. I think it's the third greatest sports hoax of all time.
Okay, what do you have above it?
Okay, so this is 3. Monte Teo's fake girlfriend is number 2.
Yeah,
Lene Cuca is number 2, where Teo became the Heisman Trophy second place finisher. Notre Dame goes undefeated. His real grandma, unfortunately, did pass away. The fake girlfriend, who everybody never double checked on, except Deadspin, and that's probably the last time Deadspin's actually been relevant. That's number 2. Number 1, the greatest sports hoax of all time is Rosie Ruiz cheating to win the marathon. Because Rosie Ruiz gets on the bus, doesn't even run the marathon, hops off at the finish line. I think she's given like the thing around her neck. Yeah. And they're like, "Wow, Rosie, you're this underdog story. How'd you do it? What are your intervals running?" And she goes, "What are intervals?" Just immediately gives it up like, hang on a second. You're telling me this person who just won the marathon doesn't know what an interval is? That is the greatest sports hoax of all time because it's just so over the top dumb. Those are my top 3. I didn't do a full Mount Rushmore.
The only I'd stab you. Sid Finch is my number 1.
Oh, that was my number 4.
That's my number 1. That's what George Plimpton invented a baseball player. We started this thing talking about That's So Mets. Invented like the greatest baseball player of all time, Sid Finch, who was training with the Mets. So everybody gets excited, puts it in Sports Illustrated, the whole nine. Doesn't exist. Doesn't even exist. How Mets? Hey, we have the greatest prospect of all time working with us. No, you don't. Doesn't exist. George Plimpton got you.
For those who are too young, you and I both know that story. For those who are too young, 85 Sports Illustrated, April 1st edition.
Yep.
The legend George Plimpton, the writer, says Sid Finch could throw 160 miles an hour barefoot.
And everybody bought it. Everybody bought all of it.
Yeah.
Well, because it was something, I think he was looking for great jokes and pranks and everything. Couldn't find any that he really liked. Got permission from the editor to do his own. And they ran with it. It's like, that is the sports world's War of the Worlds. That's the broadcast where everybody believed the aliens are really coming, even though they're not. Because you think about it, like right now, 111, 112 mile per hour? And we got guys with spider tack and steroids and everything under the sun. But Sid Hartha Finch, he could throw 160 miles an hour.
That's the greatest prospect of all time. And no one thought, smells fishy about this story.
Mets fan was just like, okay.
Sign them up.
Let's go. I do one more time. I got to tell you about Integrative Sleep Center.
Yeah,
I got to let everybody know about the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa with Dr. Fred Dreer. Again, love those guys. Got my best sleep score in forever last night. I got the Fitbit, which I don't even know why I wear it. It's such a hoax. There's the biggest hoax in sports. If you try to lose weight. No, but it's just like if you don't have a good night's sleep, it screws everything up. My sleep apnea was so bad that if you add it up, it was over 12 minutes an hour every night I wasn't sleeping. So made the call, 518-885-6185, Dr. Fred Dreer, Integrative Sleep Center, Boston Spa. Got a mouthpiece, real easy to use. Mouthpiece, not Recall, like some Cpap devices. Very safe, ready to go, easy to clean, easy to travel with, perfect. Doctor is the man. IntegrativeSleepCenter.com. Check it out today. Don't miss out. Start sleeping better. This time of year where it starts getting cool, this is when you should be able to sleep. This is when you should be able to get that good sleep.
Yeah.
Get the mouthpiece. It's a vicious cycle. It's like I can't lose weight because I can't sleep, but I can't sleep because I can't lose weight. Get the mouthpiece. Stop snoring. No hoses, no wires, no nothing. You're on your way. Thanks to Dr. Fred Dreer and Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa. 518-885-6185.
So happy to have them back with us on this new format. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Levack, we are officially in football season. We have to talk college football NFL football, baseball, and more. And now the fun part. We're into September.
Mhm.
For those of you who have wanted this, that's okay. Like a stand-up comedian leaving you with a joke that you wanted. You know you wanted more. We appreciate that. We are going to give you more this football season. We are now doubling the episodes per week.
Two a week. We're gonna try and do them, what, Tuesdays and Thursdays?
That's the goal. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. So kind of like a recap of the weekend and a front sell of the next week, and we'll get those up for you. And if you want us to come hang out at one of your favorite watering holes, make sure you ask. We'd love to spend as much of the football season with you guys as possible. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Chad the Hideaway wanted to talk to us about being there more, but he hasn't called yet. So
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe
so
we
Chad, I
won't.
love you, but. Yeah. All right, everybody have a great one. Rate, like,
You got it? Come on.
send money to Jeff-Levack on Venmo.
Victor, don't do that again.
Victor, do it. You're the man, Victor. I owe you a beer. Make it two. All right.
Enjoy the football. Have a good weekend.
And he who denied it supplied it. Have a great night. And then if you don't fart in the wind, you might have to smell it yourself. It's probably the rule.